let's jump back into DJ Envy and Cesar.
Right.
Because we kind of tap danced a little bit around. So the ethics piece. There was Cesar trustworthy. There was, he was and earlier, and I want to run this back too. Like, did Envy know?
Ooh, that's the question.
I think he saw signs of it, whenever you do stuff like that, you got to do your homework on people, especially when they, you bring them on your platform and things of that nature, especially since you're putting ads out, doing road shows saying, we, me and Cesar this, me and Cesar will joint venture.
You could partner with us on some deals, make some money with us.
Right? Joint venture on the deal, a lot of people are coming out on ABC, NBC, all over social media that are saying like, hey, Envy, I invested with Cesar because of you. So that's just one of those things. Like, if Envy truly did care, I would say he would be out there on the front lines like Tony, the closer, like, hey, you know what? I did bring him out to my audience. I got scammed too. So let's go out here on the front lines and let's work on getting y'all money back. I mean, maybe he knew about it, maybe not, but it's kind of hard, man, when you just got all those ads out there saying like, we, and then you're just saying like, hey, that's all Cesar now, but they got all the receipts.
I'm going to give a hot take. I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew to that level. I don't think he knew. I think he values his platform. I think that's why he spoke out today, because he's afraid. He's afraid. He's very nervous that he's going to lose his credibility and he's going to lose his platform, right? I don't think he knew. I even don't think that Cesar Piña's initial, I don't know 100%, but I don't think his initial idea was, hey, I'm going to scam all these people. I think whenever you get that type of light shown on you, or whenever you have that big of a platform and that much responsibility, the quality of your character is going to be put to test, right? And I think that was just a situation where he really didn't know how to take $1 million, $2 million, $3 million and utilize it as a tool, and then be able to create a team around him to be able to facilitate everything that he was saying. And then once you get in that position, if you have that in you, that character flaw in you, then it's going to get triggered. And what's going to happen is that you're going to lie. You're going to see, okay, this is easy money. I can utilize this money for my own benefit. I don't have any responsibility, other than ethically to pay these people back, right? And I'm going to take. And then I'm going to take, and then I'm going to take, and then I'm going to take. And now it's just become a cancer, and you're just continuously revolving in the wrong direction. And it just becomes a major problem at that point. It becomes who you are. I mean, it just makes you more of who you are.
I think he just simply bit off more than he can chew, to the point where you're taking investors' money and no house was flipped. You're taking 2 to 3 people, investors' money on a house that's not, some of those cases, the houses where it wasn't even his, So it's wild.
Yeah, because right now there are allegations and accusations, but that one hurt. Like, you're taking money for a house that you didn't even own or you sold 4 years ago. That one's a little disgusted. That's it's hard to defend that. So I'm gonna add on to your wisdom. So I'll say this. We're 51 minutes in, 40 to 45 minutes ago, y'all just had the opportunity to advertise your workshop.
Right.
How much money is in my bank account?
From
how much money is in my bank account? What am I?
Nothing. We didn't pay
you don't
know.
Anything.
Oh, yeah. We don't know
how much money is it? I don't know how much money I got in your bank account.
Right.
We sat here. I just said we did over 50 deals, 4 years. We hang out, we talk, we BS, we own a property together.
Right. 2 of them. 7 of them. 8 of them.
8 of them.
8 of them.
Yeah.
One we're gonna keep, the other 7 we're gonna get rid of. 7 and flips, one we're gonna keep, and then we're adding on to the other deals that we're talking about.
Facts.
by first quarter next year, we could potentially add another 50 to 100 doors, another 4 to 5 properties, because now we're talking those conversations.
That's right.
But I don't know what your bank account is. I don't know what's going on with you. That's the conversation. And that's what Carl Webb said last time. Husband and wife don't know what's going on in their house. Parents don't know what their kids are doing.
Sure.
So I think the argument in general is tough because you never know. I think Envy knew because Envy keeps switching up his story.
That's another thing. Yeah,
Well,
I think
it's just one of those things where he needs to take Charlemagne's and his lawyer's advice. Please stop talking about it.
Let me explain some things. I'm not, my attorneys don't want me to speak, but I think there's things that I need to clear up a little bit.
I think you should listen to your attorneys. Why don't light-skinned people like to listen? Like, if your attorney told you don't say nothing, why are you talking?
And I think when he found out, just my opinion from the outside looking in, I think when he found out, it was too late. It was too late to bust his bubble. Is to bust Cesar's bubble would be to bust his own bubble at that point.
Because who's to say like Envy didn't get some money from that? Not saying he knew about it, but what if Cesar just ran game and be like, here, man, you know, referral fee.
And that's the conversation. And that's the difficult piece is that. So this is what I'll add on again just to
Right.
so we can keep the conversation going. Is like I had a discussion about. I've been talking about this a lot because it's important to me, and it's actually
Sure.
It affects things. I know people who blew up in the last 3 years, right? Every 10 years is an ebb and flow. There's a hot season, it dries off, and 10 years we'll be right back to it. For a lot of people, this is their first high.
Right.
To add to your point, so much money was coming in his direction, and it's like, what do you do? And then if this is your first rodeo in terms of getting money, you're like, oh, the next deal is right there.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yep.
I know I lost, like, again, back to this deal. We lost some money on this. I'm like, okay, I have the money here. If I have to kick in, I can kick in. I could make moves. I'm making money on this deal. It sucks, but I got to take money from it. And then we got to keep, plugging the wealth, like filling it up. So, but I'm almost 20 years experience. Like I've experienced 2 cycles.
Right.
And also we built y'all remember the numbers, 0 to 2 doors to 5 doors to 36 doors.
Right.
Y'all built this up. So y'all, as y'all went, y'all learned how to like, all right, it's time to slow down.
Correct.
I don't think we should jump on this deal, whatever.
Correct.
Right.
I don't know that he had the opportunity, and I'm not forgiving because you also have opportunities. And like I had a conversation today, like about that house.
Right.
Hey, your contract is about to end. And what you want to do with your money? Well, it comes up in 2 months. Well, what you mean? Why? I said, yo, the house ain't doing good.
Right.
But I need to know now in 60 days, do you want your investment back?
Right.
Right.
Because then when the next deal closes, I got to start moving that money over. Like I can't invest in the next deal because I got to have their money.
Right.
But that's me. And that's honest business and fair business and good business.
Absolutely.
Now to go back and then we could, circle back or move forward with the conversation. Like, shout out to my wife. My wife's watching, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? The feds is always in the building.
Shout out Mrs. Abdullah.
Yeah, right. So we start getting money in a different way. Cause I gotta tell people like I had money, I was all right. But like this is all part of this boom.
Right.
So we looking at houses and I'm like, nah. And she's like, nah. And I'm like looking at cars, she's like, nah. And I'm like, nah.
Right.
Because we didn't know when it was gonna stop.
100.
I know some people that made new bill. I bought some things.
Sure.
I might have got a watch. We might have went somewhere, but that's a one-off. So if you make 20 G's, let's say, and you blow 10,
right,
it don't matter because you still got 10 that is profit.
Right.
But if you make 20 and then you make a $5,000 monthly bill,
right,
what happens next month?
If
so
that
I know
20
some
don't
people
come back, right,
who fell into that and then got hurt in real estate. And so there's a lot of different dynamics. But when it comes to Cesar and Envy specifically, I heard Envy say, yo, he got me for 500 G's,
I heard
man.
him say that too.
So
Because I gave him a lot of money.
Jesus.
That I didn't see a dollar of return.
the conversation that we were having was like, yo, I don't think he made it public because if he was able to string it along, he could have got his bread back.
Yeah.
And the last thing, and then I'll get your take on this is, in the video, not the one with Charlemagne, not his announcement. It was ABC that happened already.
Right.
It was
One
ABC.
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
One of them,
the
like,
first one.
The local.
It was
news
like a local
channel.
New York
right,
channel.
like so a local channel aired it, and then now it's going to be a national conversation. One of the people that got scammed was like, "Yo, Caesar came to me and he gave me all this.
Cash.
No.
The
He gave me
jewelry.
jewelry
Oh,
in a
jewelry.
box
I didn't see
because
that.
they bought all the
Mhm.
pieces. They commissioned like 15 diamond pieces.
Right.
Yep.
So they was taking that money and buying the piece. Maybe they had it when it was up. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Man.
But so what I'm saying is, on a street level, he tried to be like, yo, just pawn it. So
Right.
I think he tried to make amends.
Right.
That doesn't forgive
Mm-mm.
doing people dirty.
Nope.
But I also believe that some of that was maybe he couldn't tell his wife because they just bought the new crib.
Right.
He got the kids in private school. They just got 3 new cars.
Right.
People don't have that humility.
Right.
It also doesn't help that they interviewed Caesar's wife in like a $2,300 designer shirt. I don't know what kind of shirt it was.
It was Chanel. It was Chanel.
A Chanel
Yeah,
shirt. Like
yeah.
that doesn't help. And then they ask her where the money at, and she says like that's a Caesar question.
And she had
Yeah.
3 Cartier bracelets on.
That's-
A Cartier Love bracelet alone is $6,500. Hers had diamonds in it. Now, how do I know that? Go back and watch the video. You'll be like, oh, he's right.
Yeah.
She had 3 Cartier bracelets on. Even if she got them from the Diamond District and they were like aftermarket, that's still $10,000-$15,000 in just bracelets and almost $3,000 shirt. But they had diamonds in it. If she got that from Cartier, just the Love bracelet with just the circles,
Right.
that's 15 grand.
Come
right.
on now.
Oh, and she had 3 of them on, plus a watch, plus that shirt, and she was walking into her mansion.
So that's one of those things where she should have been hiding along with Caesar.
so here's the thing that I teach. So I work with some ex-offenders right now in regards to helping them get their first deal, right? One thing I tell them is that you have to change from the mindset, because I had to experience this. You got to go from being a hustler to a CEO. You have to go from being a hustler to a business owner, right? You can't have you can have the hustle, the grind, the grit, right? You can have that and utilize your skill set, your gift of gab, or whatever the case may be, but you have to study the market that you say you're going to play in, right? You have to study it. You have to know it. You have to be able to be predictable, especially when it comes to real estate. Anybody can make money in a peak season, right? It's not very difficult because the banks are out to play, money's flowing freely. It's very easy to get in the peak season. But what's going to happen when, where we're in right now in the market, the interest rates rise, there's very little inventory on the market. In our specific market, house prices are cooling off somewhat, but what are you going to do? Right? Because those big time flips and spreads on assignment fees are not going to come as frequently because the money's not out to play. So you got to get creative. You have to know different strategies. Real estate is a game, and it has different games within it. And I don't think that they understood that aspect of it. I think they took the hustle and they stood on that. And then when it couldn't hustle anymore, they started hustling for real.
Yeah, it took a turn.
Yeah.
So, do y'all want to add anything else? I think.
No.
Man, listen to your attorney. I worked with an attorney for 5 years. That'll tell you, I'm an ex-felon and I worked in a law firm for 5 years. All right. Not many ex-felons can say that. I worked in a law firm for 5 years. Please listen to your legal counsel.
And don't say nothing. Y'all have any questions? Anything before we go?
Between that and just if you think about investing in somebody, check the receipts. Make sure they actually own the property, right? Check some HUD statements, proof of funds. Ask them to show you their
I'm glad you
account.
touched on that.
Yeah, that's extremely important because I think we should touch on that also. A lot of people was just sending him money with no type of protection in place, not utilizing a title company. Some of that stuff he was just sending a contract through his cell phone, we have to know how to do our due diligence whenever we put our money into investing these properties. When somebody says, trust me, I'm using this money, I can get you a 30% return
In 5 months?
in 5 months. That's kind of hard to believe. So just have them show you the receipts.
I agree. And one last thing to add on to that is I mean, I've been in court so many times. You know, he says a joke kind of that you're not in business until you've been sued. My
Right.
first property, I ended up in court 18, 17 years ago. So like I've been in court consistently
right.
from one thing to the next. And that's part of business. But see, if you don't know that and you, oh, this guy's been sued, he must be a criminal. You gotta understand that comes with the game.
Sure.
Anybody's allowed to sue you. That don't mean I don't lose in court.
Correct.
I win in court. I sue people sometimes. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? You got to know the game. But this is for investors. Whether you're going to invest with me, I think y'all should take the course. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're going to invest in yourself, don't spend money. Don't invest money that you cannot afford to lose.
Say that again, please.
Well, you need to repeat this.
Yeah, say hit it.
Which one you want to do? Just a gem.
There you go. Please listen.
That's money in the bank. That's if you can't afford to lose it, don't take the risk because nothing is 100%, right? Except for death and taxes.
100%.
So just because like some of these people are gonna win in court, and your boy might have spent all that money.
Sure.
And they're gonna have a paper that says it's like an IOU, and they're never gonna get that money back, especially if he files bankruptcy. But then there's something else where if it's like if he actively was creating or was continuing a fraud knowingly, then he can't bail out by going through bankruptcy. But I'm just making a point. You got 100 G's, take 20, 30, 40, don't put 100 if it's going to affect your lifestyle. Because even when you win in court, we was talking about that earlier. I got somebody I sued for $4,000 3 years ago. I'm not in a rush. It's only $4,000. But we'll get that money back. Like, he might die. I might never get that 4 G's. It's just like, you know, that could have been 40. It could have been 400. But it's only 4, so I'm not really tripping.